What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the Turnpike Titans podcast. I'm joined, as always, by my two co-hosts, Vin and Jarrett. We've been on a little hiatus, got a lot going on, as you can probably tell. My normal background's gone. I'm back in the old mama's basement, if you know what I mean. We'll talk about that at a later date. But we're here back again to discuss a very disappointing loss for the Titans because we don't know how to score points as usual. Final score 20-16, Cincinnati. A lot to get off our chest here. As always, I turn to you two. Vin, why don't you start us off? Instant reaction to the debacle we witnessed this past Sunday.
Well, first, I'd rather hear the story about why you're back in your mom's basement than talk about these sorry fucking Titans. Because I guess we got to catch up on 2 weeks where 2 weeks ago they looked solid. You know, Green Bay, it was a solid performance. But of course, the highs with the Titans always lead to the fucking lows. And the Bengals game, you know, they were without Chase, they were without Mixon. You thought, you know, we got a shot. Tough team at home. They beat us in the playoff. We had some extra motivation maybe to beat them, but you know, we just can't get in our stop getting out of our own way. I said it week one on the pod, we were gonna struggle to score 20 points all year long. And I think we've gone over 20 points, maybe 3, maybe 4 of the 11 weeks we've played so far. So it's been ugly through the ups and the downs. But, you know, it's just, I feel like a broken fucking record because, you know, it's the same story every week where we're dealing with, the ineptitude on offense. Tannehills is, looks like he's on one leg. Downey can't call a play. Teams are now stuffing Henry. He's average under 3 yards a carry, I think, the last few games. But, I don't know. It's
it's literally repetitive, like the same shit we talk about every week with the offense and everything. But coming into it, I mean, we did go 2-1 the last 3 games that we've been away from the podcast. But 2-1 is an ugly 2-1 because you barely beat the Broncos, and now you come into the kryptonite with the Bengals that we can't beat the last 3 games. And, going forward, I don't see listen, after this loss, it stung just as bad as the playoff loss with the Bengals, just because of the fact of we're not going to be able to compete with these AFC teams. I sat myself down and I said, Jesus Christ, we're in for something here now, because we didn't beat the Bills, we didn't beat the Chiefs, and we didn't beat the Bengals. 3 powerhouses like we call ourselves in the AFC. We can't run the ball against Denver. We can't run the ball against Green Bay. We can't run the ball against the Bengals, averaging 3 yards a clip on every single one of those games. The offensive line is not going to hold up in January against the Bills, against all these other teams. With DJ Reader, with the Bengals, you have Brandon Williams now teaming back up with Chris Jones. That huge front's coming up. And this week against the Eagles, now with Jordan Davis coming up, you have Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham, your boy.
Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox. I mean, we're not going to be able to do anything, again, especially this week. And going forward, it's going to be very scary. And thank God we play in a shit division, is all I can say. But I see this is going to be an early round exit for a very average team for us this year.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how could you not think that by now? I mean, how many examples do we need of just piss poor decision making, piss poor execution? It's funny that Vrabel talks about execution in the press conferences, and yeah, of course it's on the players. But when you scheme up awful fucking plays that don't work, you're essentially just saying the players aren't good enough. So it's a double-edged sword. You're either going to tell everyone, hey, our play calling is miserable, or you're just going to let everyone know, oh, the players aren't good enough. I think all the fans know what the real answer is, but Vrabel's not going to admit it. So it is what it is. I mean, listen, here's the bottom line. First of all, Derrick Henry didn't have it. Everyone knows it. We knew it in halftime. And then we take a huge shot down the field to Burks. We're in the fucking red zone, and we still try to give him the ball twice to get in the end zone, when it was obvious the only way we were getting production in offense was throwing the football. But it didn't matter because we're stuck in our ways. Winning doesn't matter this team. It's about getting Derrick Henry carries and getting him the rushing title and making sure he continues to be seen as the best running back in the league. It's evident to me now. I still love the guy. I still want him to continue to carry the football because he's still an elite talent. But I mean, you just got to see it like it is. Why? You knew at halftime he was getting blown up at the front line of scrimmage every fucking play. He averaged what 2.2 yards a carry on nearly 20 carries, and you still find the need. Like it's going to change. Like the defense is going to change in the red zone. It was a gift that he got like 6 yards in the first run when we were on the 10, and then we still tried to feed it to him again. And then we got to depend on Chig to catch the ball, which he should have. Nobody's going to say he shouldn't have, but it shouldn't have came down to that. I mean, it's disgraceful.
Just going back to cut you off real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just when you were saying Traylon Burks, it triggered me because Traylon Burks has really come on after the injury and the last 2 weeks, even with Green Bay and now this week. He was manhandling Eli Apple and whoever the other corner was. Why don't we just throw him the ball like we did when we were down to San Francisco last year, where AJ just took over the game? Why can't Traylon Burks be that guy as well? If Derrick Henry is not going to be the guy during the game, throw to your other number 2, which is Burks now. I mean, it's just ridiculous with the schemes. And like I seen today on Twitter from West from Broadway, he had a clip of a route. And I used to be a wide receiver. I don't know about you guys too. I mean, it's just common sense for football fans. You have trips on the right-hand side and 3 crossers, all 3 wide receivers. I'm looking at it right now. All 3 wide receivers are in the same fucking spot. So that's not Tannehill's fault. That's route concepts from the offensive coordinator and the head coach and the routes being run by the receivers. It's just a terrible job all around, like we've been talking about.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Go back to what I was saying. Listen, the defense was nothing to write home about, right? I won't let them completely off the hook. But the bottom line is, all you need to do is score 3 touchdowns and win this game. So I don't want to hear anyone talk about how they weren't elite. And I mentioned this on Twitter. Would you think that they were never going to give up a big play ever again? I mean, like Joe Burrow's pretty good. T. Higgins is pretty good. I mean, of course, he has his fucking coming out party of the season because that's all we know how to do is give rookies or guys that haven't been playing well their first big game. But we knew they were capable of making plays, and we still only held them to 20 points. That should be enough in the NFL. I mean, really, it should be. It's ridiculous. So people want to complain about the defense because we're so content and we're normalizing now that we expect our defense to win every game, that they're not elite and they're not. No, they're very, very good. Should have stopped P. Ryan better. We should have got more pressure. Jeffrey Simmons, nothing to write home about from him. Now, mind you, he didn't have his partner, Autry, with him, which obviously was felt. But, it's just, I'm tired of people trying to lean on the defense, for everything. You needed 3 touchdowns to win the game. You couldn't do it. Well, we only got 1, right? We didn't even get 2. We got 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
1 touch. Yeah. So that's just pathetic.
Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic. It is what it is. Nothing's going to change as usual. It's the same song and fucking dance. Downing's going to continue to call the plays. We're going to have to be content. We're going to win the division. And then what's going to happen is we're going to run into a team like Miami. We're going to run into a team like the Jets. Yes, you heard me right. The Jets. I think they're making the playoffs. And they're going to have a fucking field day because all they're going to have to do is score 3 touchdowns and a field goal. And they're going to have nothing to worry about because this offense can't get anything going. And we obviously know now the Packer game was a fucking anomaly. And this guy, we got to pray he gets some kind of fine or not fine, some kind of suspension from the NFL.
Yeah, but I'm starting to really think that even if it is, it is Downing. We've been saying it for a year and a half now, well over a year and a half now. But it's going back to the offensive line. The offensive line is not going to be able to block good defenses coming into the playoffs. You saw 3 really good defenses the last 3 weeks, and look what Derrick Henry's done. The line ain't pushing nobody. I don't care if Ben Jones was in there or not. One man is not fucking helping that line. Right tackle, left tackle, I mean, even fucking whatever his name is, that left tackle right now. I mean, left guard. What the fuck is his name? Dylan Ruins or whatever.
Ray Dunes.
Ray
Might as well be Ruins.
Yeah,
all he does is fucking ruin.
Yeah, and he's a whiff. And these guys are not gonna win the battle against the DJ Readers and the Chris Joneses in the playoffs. It's just not gonna happen. I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think our offensive line is past the point of, scrapping together a group of 5 that can keep it together. I think this year, I mean, we were just so high a couple of weeks ago. It's hilarious.
Man, it's crazy.
We're burying them again. But, I mean, if they can't get healthy on the offensive line, I hate to say it, you're almost to the point where you feel bad for Tannehill and Henry because Tannehill's playing on one leg. We obviously need him. We're significantly better with him. And we're not equipping him with what he needs to be successful. An offensive line a fucking makeshift fucking wide receiver core that we have right now. It's very frustrating, and we got injuries all over still too. We got
again this year.
Yeah, it's just you feel like you can only get away with it for so long. Like Sal said, and you said, we're lucky playing a shit division because I said it early on. I think 9 games are going to win this division, and if you look at the remaining schedule, I think that it's going to land on probably 9 or 10. So, I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess. But until I'd like to know as well, what the fuck does Todd Downings have on the Adams family or Vrabel? Because this motherfucker is so in over his head, and then has one good game, gets fucking wasted on the plane ride home, drives like an asshole, not 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. This motherfucker was going 100 miles an hour. Okay?
Allegedly, right? That's what these fucking asshole fans are trying to tell me. Allegedly.
And well, either way, he was fucking speeding and he was fucking drunk. So how has this motherfucker kept his job through just what seems about every fucking thing? I don't know. It's, do you make a change? Like, if you don't make a change after this year, then what the fuck are you actually like? You're spitting in the fans' face.
Exactly. I've been saying that for weeks. And then and the worst part is they had a prime. I mean, this was such a prime opportunity to do it without having to hear an answer or a peep from anyone. And they fucking shit the bed.
Yeah. Especially where Vrabel's such a guy where he's holding people accountable for everything they fucking do. And I love the guy, but what about some personal accountability for Todd fucking Downing? I mean, that's a bad look for the team. It's a bad look for him. And it'd be one thing if he was dropping 30 a game and you can live with him being a fucking jerk off. But I mean, he's just a complete fucking joke in what seems to be every fucking aspect of life. So I don't know. And now they're trying to float rumors around with Ohio State and Vrabel, and
I don't know. I don't know what the point of that.
Yeah.
I could see it.
He doesn't want to coach 17-year-old kids or recruit them. I don't think.
Yeah, but why? There's no reason for that to even be talked about because Ryan Day ain't going nowhere. Why? Because they lost to Michigan 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not happening. And Ryan Day is his boy, so
I agree. Maybe next year, if it happens again, and the Titans are in a similar spot, and we might be on the downswing, then maybe. But
I couldn't see him. I mean, he leaves his team without a ring. It's like you're throwing in the towel. And he
has everything going for him right now. The new stadium,
happening.
The keys to the fucking franchise.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
No, I agree. I'm just saying. I just wanted to be down to there for a minute, All
right, let's play our favorite game, as we always do. We're gonna give a quarterback grade today. I think both are gonna be super surprised for me, but I'll let you start, Jarrett. What do you think of Tannehill and his performance on Sunday?
I'm going to go on the last 3 weeks because we haven't been here for the last 3 weeks.
Okay, yes. Do that collectively.
For certain scenarios for all of us. But just to tally off some stuff, Ryan Tannehill and the offense against Green Bay, 408 yards, one of the best all year. And then I think he threw he had 333 yards against the Packers. He had over 250 yards against the Broncos, and he had damn near close to 300 against the Bengals. So he was efficient. He has not been the problem, even on a one leg or one ankle, whatever you want to call it, the last 3 weeks. He's a warrior, and I've always said it since we've been starting this podcast. I'm going to give him a solid A for this week, and he was definitely not the sole reason why we lost this game. And it goes down to play calling and execution from the receivers and everything else. And we should have thrown the ball a lot more than we did. So I'm going with a solid A for him.
All right.
An A, not an A minus, an A.
An A.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit steep, but
yeah, it's all right. It's all right. You're a player's coach. Sal's a little more, a little more tight leash, but you're a player's coach. I appreciate that. I try to float somewhere in the middle. I'll give him a B plus. B plus. He is a warrior, and we are obviously better with him. And I'm glad, Sal, that that we should never even mention Malik Willis's name on here again until we absolutely have to.
I have before this podcast is over. I want to sprinkle a little something that I told my brother, and I was gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
I don't like how good George Pickett looks. What's his first name? Kenny Pickett. I really don't like that. I mean, he looks fucking good.
He looks like he could be a gamer, man. He fucking comes to play. So hey, but listen, we need Tannehill. Obviously, we are definitely better with him. And I brought it up at times last year that I felt bad for him because I felt like he never had continuity within the offense, from the personnel to the play calling. It's changed over the past few years. And obviously, the playoff game, we wanted to bury him when we were ready to fucking put him in witness protection for his own safety. But now he's come back this year and showed that we do need him. So his cast is subpar at best. Traylon Burks coming on, could be promising down the line. But he's working with a fucking group that, you just feel like it's laughable. So I'm going to give him a B+. The guy looks like he's limping in every practice video. He is a warrior. But at the end of the day, I still think he is what he is. He is at his best, the top 12, 10 guy, maybe at his worst, looking at, 15, 16, 17 kind of guy. We can agree to disagree on that, but, I'm going to give him a B+. We need him. Hopefully we win the division in week 16 or 17, and we can rest him for a week or two because it is clear that he is not healthy and our line is still banged up. So this fucking guy is still going to have to be dealing with hits. So give him a B+ and pass it on to Salvatore. So we're going to be surprised with your grade. Nothing has surprised me tonight from what I've seen in your mother's basement. So,
Well, I mean, I think it would be a surprise to you guys. I think I was going to say B+ as well. Actually, you know what? Upon further thought, I'm going to bump it to an A-. I am. He balled out against Green Bay. He did more than enough to beat Denver. He missed a couple throws on Sunday, especially there was one throw. I think it was on the third down in the red zone. Robert Woods was wide open, and he hit Chig. We should have caught it. Doesn't matter, but it was a touchdown in Woods.
We need to talk about Chig in a little bit because it could be a player. Anyways, go ahead.
So yeah, A- for Tannehill. He's made me a believer again. If Todd Downing doesn't, just make his life harder than it already is, he's clearly really hurt. And I have full belief in him actually in the playoffs. Now I really do. It's just I don't have belief in Todd Downing. So still first round exit is my vision right now, and then we'll see if anything changes.
I'll give it the divisional.
Divisional.
Dude, if we play the
thing.
Dolphins, we're gonna get fucking ass reamed. I'm just telling you right now. The Dolphins are gonna fuck us in the ass if we play them. I'm just telling you straight up. And frankly, I think the Jets
dolphin raped here.
I think the Jets win easily as well if they play us.
Relax.
They got no quarterback. They got a really good defense.
Relax.
Oh, did you see Mike White last week?
Yeah.
Well, okay. No, okay. But anyway,
maybe we ought to fucking trade for him if Tannehil leaves after this
time out. Exactly what I'm gonna go into this point right now. Before we move on to the next segment, so we're having a little fun tonight. Before we move on, next year he's owed how much money? Close to $40 million. Close to $40 million, right?
Too much money.
So now, what do you think they do? Do you think they release him? Do you think they cut him? Do you think they restructure?
Could be a restructure, I think.
Do you think they keep him for that reason? Yes or no?
Yeah, at this moment, I do. Only because Malik looks fucking lost.
My theory would be, and this is high up there, and it's not crazy. They cut him, they cut Lawan, they cut Woods, Bullock, and
someone's coming.
Zach Cunningham.
Big names on the way. I feel it.
Big name is on the way, but it's we need more than this one big name. Okay. You sign this person to a 2-year, $50 million guaranteed deal because he's going to get also cut from his team.
Does he wear number 12?
Does he wear number 12? He is correct. He wears number 12.
Oh,
does Aaron Rodgers come to the Titans next year on a 2-year deal, and they get more in return for the money for all the players they cut? They can go after a line. The free agent wide receiver class next year is absolutely abysmal.
Anything for Aaron Rodgers. I would give up my left testicle.
I understand, but it's very high hopes. But all those 5 players, I think, would clear close to $60 million in cap, and they have done nothing besides Tannehill on this team this year.
Aaron Rodgers would have won this team Super Bowl last year. It's not even a question. It's not even a fucking question. And frankly, the year before, one of those 3. We have obviously Tom Brady too, which I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I mean, really, I thought about that, and I didn't want to think about it too much. because in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know what? I know he loves Nashville too. He loves
He's a
talking about the
Vrabel boy.
Titans. He loves talking about the Titans on the McAfee show. Like he's a
Vrabel
and you know, again, he'd fit right in because we have no receivers, and that's that's his whole career. So
Valid point, Salvatore.
No,
Yeah,
I mean
so-
it's a very deep wide receiver class too. You have Traylon Burks, you have Chig. If you sign Hooper, that's a good start, you know. And then maybe you draft Wyatt if he falls, you know, to late 20s wide receiver wise. There's a lot of good wide receivers this year coming out. Very deep draft.
well, that's a rabbit hole that we really
That's
should
how
not get
sad
into.
this has fucking become.
Yeah.
That we're talking about Aaron Rodgers in week 12, or
Especially when
13
Tannehills
this
looks
year.
really good over the last.
No,
3 weeks.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
talking
how
about.
fucking terrible this
Yeah, you're
situation
cheating
is.
on your boy right now.
I'm not. I'm just saying it money
You're
wise.
flirting.
There's
You're
a
flirting.
lot. There's a lot going on for next year. And if we're
Yeah.
talking about this team,
Yeah,
is
well,
not.
Luan's definitely gone. Cunningham's definitely gone. Tannehill's up in the air.
Robert Woods is gone.
Get
Yeah,
him
Robert
off the
Woods is
fucking
gone. They'll
field.
probably re-sign Bullock just because they want to have it
No,
in that.
get him
kicker.
outta here.
Oh,
fucking
God.
too.
No.
I don't know who the fuck this kid was last week either. I never heard of him. Josh Lambo didn't miss a kick the week before.
He missed
so
a
why didn't
kick.
cut him?
He missed an extra point. What do you mean?
Josh Lambo?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Against Green Bay. That's all right. It was in Green Bay.
that's okay.
That's all right.
I
It's
mean,
in
yeah,
Green
I'd
Bay.
rather have Josh Lambo than this kid.
Yeah, I never heard of this.
But no,
fucking
he
kid.
did make like a 39-yarder afterwards.
Yeah, he also
He was-
missed like a 32-yarder.
Listen, it was his first NFL game. I'm going to give him that. See what he does this week. He was a very solid kicker at Iowa last year. And Iowa, they play in the cold, just like we play in the cold. And, you know, maybe he had some jitters. Who knows? He was a very,
Well,
very solid kicker. And he
we'll
kicked
talk.
from 50 plus
I
in
know.
college too.
Everyone
So
says that. He said, "Oh my
Send his
God, he looked
highlights.
so
Send his
good." And
highlights.
the warm ups, he was hitting 60 plus, and oh my, and then we need a 38-yard, he fucking shanks it.
absolutely.
Anyway, I digress. Let's get into this upcoming game, which you know, it in my estimation is going to be a bloodbath. I think we're going to get absolutely decimated. Really, it was so lucky that we were in the Kansas City game till the end. Couldn't get a first down in the second half. I think this is going to be Buffalo Part 2. And I hope I'm wrong, but what do you guys think is going to happen to make this a competent game?
Well, one, I'll be there, so I will.
That'll help.
I will bring the juju. All
Yeah.
the juju I have will be brought for the Titans. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. We're going to have to keep Jalen Hurts off the field. We're going to have to continue to run the ball as ugly as it's been, because if we let their offense, which can move pretty fast, score quickly, and we have to play catch up in Philly, it's going to be impossible. And like Sal, like you just said, it could be a Buffalo scenario, which would be fucking miserable for me, because I would have to leave at halftime, and I wait week 13 to see my team, just to see them get fucking annihilated by them, you know, in Philly. So
Start drinking
we'll
her
see
over
what
there.
happens. But the formula's got to be keep them off the field, keep it an ugly game. You know, fucking, I don't know. I think it'll be closer than Sal thinks, but I don't think we have enough juice to keep up with them right now. We'll get to predictions in a little bit, but yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult just to keep up with their offense. You know, so I want to keep repeating myself because I'm kind of just thinking about it now and how I'm going to be in front of fucking 70,000 screaming Eagles fans. So go for it, Jared. What do you think? What's the formula?
I am going to be a tad bit optimistic on one side of the ball. I think we somewhat
Offense?
no. I think
Special teams.
I think somewhat we contain the Eagles' offense to an extent, but on offense for us, I don't see our line blocking their line at all. It's going to be a miserable day again for Derrick Henry. Any offense, they need to, you know, attack in the passing game. These wide receivers have to step up this week. If they don't, we are so fucked. And it's just like we said in the beginning of the podcast. There's no way in hell that this makeshift ShopRite, Best Buy,
Goodwill. We're shopping at
Goodwill
right now.
offensive line is blocking that front with the Dominican Sue now, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Crocs, Robert Quinn, all these guys are not blocking him. The lanes are not going to be there. It's just it's going to be a bloodbath
I
on
can't wait
offense.
to see the cute shit Todd Downing tries to do. That is just going to be so fucking.
You know what?
ugly.
You know what they're going to do? They're going
The
to
double
screen.
end around with Malik
Yeah.
Willis and Chig
they're gonna try to screen the shit out of them, and the wide receiver screens hasn't worked since 1962, so we can stop doing that. And the only thing that works is Hilliard and Henry, but like do it at an opportune time where the defense isn't expecting it.
Yeah.
Well,
What happened to the flea flicker, right? We had a great play off that, never seen it again. It's just, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't have any optimism for this game. Good news is I had no optimism for Kansas City. I had no optimism for Green Bay, and they were both down on the wire. So if the trend continues, this game will probably be close. In my eyes, it's honestly, it's kind of a must win, in my opinion, for the momentum of this football team. This would be the first 2-game losing streak since the very beginning of the year. And it's just one of those games where this team, because of the position they put us in as fans, as far as how we feel about them, they got to show us something this week, or else it's going to be a really tough place for this fan base moving forward. So I even though I don't think they're gonna, I think in their mindset it's gonna have to be a must win. And they're gonna have to call plays as if it's a must win, and maybe go for it on a 4th down as if it's a must win in certain situations. So we'll see how it all plays out. If you can contain Jalen Hurts, who clearly, as you can tell now over the past few weeks, is just like Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson as far as his running ability, then you got a chance. Obviously, AJ is gonna have a chip on his shoulder. Devontae Smith doesn't need one. He's an incredible caliber wide receiver. They have no holes. I mean, their O-line's good. Their defense is good. Their receivers are good. I mean, it's just really, if it's anything like, this could be worse than Buffalo. It really could be, because this team, at least Buffalo had a couple holes. This team's got no fucking holes. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a fun watch. I think it's not one I'm going to be jumping out of bed for, but once, the kickoff comes around, I think it'll be something I'm glued to. Obviously, it always is with this team. But let's do our score predictions as we always wrap up with. Vin, give me what you got for the game you will be in attendance for.
Well, the fact that I'm going to be there will be the X factor.
Yes.
So
Decked out in Titans gear, right?
Yes, head to toe, fighting every fucking Eagles fan I could get, throwing the fucking batteries that they throw at me right back at them. So I'm rolling with 21-17 Titans.
All right. Do me a favor.
Now you're gonna fucking pick them to
favor.
lose. What am I, an asshole?
20 to you. We're holding them to 17 points.
We're gonna do our best. Sal.
Are we playing this game on Mars with no gravity?
No, we're playing it in Philly on grass.
Or I should say the moon. I think Mars has gravity. But anyway,
you pick them to lose. I ain't picking them to lose.
I'm not picking them to lose, but I ain't picking them to keep them to 17 points.
Well, I mean, we ain't
sorry guys,
fucking 40, so we got to keep them to fucking close to 20.
Sorry,
Right,
guys.
Jared.
I'm gonna be a
Jared's
little.
picking
I'm gonna be realistic here, since I
Yeah,
am
of course.
one of the most optimistic Titan fans. As you can see, I see. Obviously we're gonna lose to go 7-5, but I see the schedule almost in our favor with the next 3 out of the 4 games home. So I see it as a must win, but I don't see it as a must win. But it could be a little hiccup in the road. But I'm gonna go 27-17 Eagles.
That is very realistic. I'm going 42-38 Titans. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I can't pick them to lose, but secret, I don't think they're going to win. So I'm going to pick them to win, but I don't really think they're going to win. So my optimistic host of the show pick is going to be 27-24. Tannehill's going to throw for 385. Traylon Burks is going to have $160, and Derrick Henry is going to be held to very limited yards, which is going to force us to throw, and then Tannehill's going to drop his sack on the city of brotherly love. So that's my prediction: 27-24 Titans, with a Malik Willis fumble involved in there somewhere, just to keep the reality in check. And that's it. Jared, you already said yours, right? Yeah, you said 27-17.
Listen, I'm the biggest mush. I haven't won a parlay since probably the second week of September. So hopefully this mush is
stop gambling, bro.
and the reverse.
Yeah, Stop claiming. Say you might have some expenses coming up.
Yeah.
Unexpected ones.
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
see.
Well, if the Titans win this game, you're never picking them to win again. So just know that right now.
100%.
I don't care. Both Jacksonville games, you're going to pick us to get blown out. So
I will 100% do
which
that.
which by the way, not to jump too far ahead, but that game is not going to be a walkover. Let me tell you,
No.
because Trevor Lawrence is getting groovy now, and that defense is sneaky
Yeah,
good.
they're
So
one more draft and free agency away from being a legit contender in that
Yeah.
division.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I think just for sake of discussion, technically, I think they're no, not. I mean, I think technically and figuratively, whatever the case may be, they're the biggest threat to us in the division.
In the division.
100%. I mean, the Colts are a disaster. I mean, they can't even beat the fucking rookie-led Steelers at home. And then, you got Jacksonville that comes back and beats the Ravens. We got 2 games against them still. So, yeah, they're 3 games back, but a little this, little that, and then it's a scary situation. So, but anyway, let's not jump too far ahead. So we got our score predictions in. Anything else you guys want to throw in there before we wrap it up? We had a nice 40 minutes in today.
Finn, drink early, enjoy the game, and bring home a fucking victory, please.
I'll be at Xfinity with my girlfriend's dad around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
You're not really wearing Titans gear to this thing, are you?
Nah, bro, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid.
You're gonna wear
I
like a
might-
hat with the symbol you said that's like the
Nah,
size
nah,
of a
nah.
thumbtack.
I might rock socks, and if need be, I can pull up my pants a little bit and let everyone see. But
No. We need
I
you on
am
the
crazy.
show. Don't
I'm
do
not
that.
stupid. I was born there. I grew up very close there. Spent a lot of time there. Family's there, and I know it's not a place to fuck around in. So
Yeah, I think you should wear a Titans AJ Brown jersey there. That would be fucking
that'd be
sick.
a good idea. Yeah, really throw everyone off.
No, you would get battered even worse if you did that. So
Yeah.
definitely don't do that. All right, fellas, well, we're gonna wrap up. As always, I continue to fail to remember to say this at the beginning of the show, so I'm just gonna say at the end, as usual. If you were generous enough to stick around to the end, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. The whole 9 yards. Trying to grow, trying to build something here, and we're starting to pick up some traction, which is good. Our subs are going up little by little, and we appreciate all the help we can get. So if you're listening, you got friends, family that like the team, make sure you send it out to them, and hopefully we got some new listeners coming in. So anything else you fellas want to add before we wrap it up?
Look at my nice Christmas tree. My little
That is a
sports
beautiful
Christmas tree.
tighten up tree.
Oh,
You need more.
man.
I need more tighten up in there though. If we win this
Yeah,
game, I need a few more tighten ups.
I got the helmet. I got the helmet.
The
at the
helmet
top.
on there and
That's
everything.
beautiful.
That is
Yeah.
excellent.
And my little man cave. I got a nice little tree.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, folks. We are going to close out. We will see you next week. And as always, tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Everybody say a little prayer for Vin too, that he makes it out of there alive. Peace.